Have you ever noticed how dust seems to settle everywhere no matter how often you clean? It's a constant, silent presence in our lives. But what if that dust wasn't just inert particles? What if it was a domain, a kingdom for something ancient and unseen? Today, we're journeying back thousands of years to the cradle of civilization, to the Sumerian city of Ur, to uncover a chilling tale whispered on clay tablets, the legend of the Dust Walker. Imagine the bustling streets of Ur, a city of ziggurats and marketplaces, vibrant with life. But beneath this surface of civilization, a primal fear lingered, a fear tied to the most common overlooked thing in their world: dust. Archaeologists, deciphering cuneiform scripts, stumbled upon fragmented warnings, stories of a being they called the Dust Walker. This wasn't a monster of fang and claw. It was something far more subtle and far more terrifying. According to these ancient texts, the Dust Walker was an entity that moved only where dust lay thick and undisturbed. It was a creature of absolute stillness, its passage marked not by what it left behind, but by what it took away. The tablets describe a chilling phenomenon: the being left no footprints. In fact, it did the opposite. As it moved, it seemed to erase the footprints of others, smoothing the dusty ground as if no one had ever walked there. It was a silent, creeping erasure of presence, a ghost that consumed history with every step. The true horror of the Dust Walker, however, wasn't found in the streets, but inside people's homes. Picture this: a family settles down for the night. The city quiets, the moonlight filters through a window, illuminating the fine layer of dust that has settled on the floor, on the furniture, on every surface. The family sleeps, unaware that they are being watched by something that sees the world not as solid objects, but as a landscape of dust. In the morning, the neighbors might notice the silence. They'd enter the home, calling out names, and find everything perfectly in order. A meal would be left half-eaten on the table, still fresh. The bed linens would still be warm, holding the faint impression of a sleeping body. A lamp might be found recently extinguished, a wisp of smoke still curling from its wick. Everything would suggest that the occupants had just stepped away moments ago. But they would be gone, vanished without a trace. No signs of a struggle, no forced entry, nothing stolen. The only clue, the only evidence of the nocturnal visitor, was something so bizarre it defied explanation. On the floor, or perhaps on a bed, amidst the uniform layer of dust, would be a perfect, clean outline in the shape of a human body. It was as if someone had laid there, and an invisible force had meticulously removed every single particle of dust from around them before taking them completely. This was the Dust Walker's signature: a void in the dust, an echo of a person who was no more. The people of Ur lived in constant fear of this entity. Their priests and mystics, the ones who studied the patterns of the heavens and the whispers of the earth, developed a set of strict rituals to protect themselves. They believed the Dust Walker was territorial. The dust was its domain, and any disturbance within it was a trespass. The most important rule, etched into the collective consciousness of the city, was about sweeping. You see, sweeping wasn't just a chore. It was a potential invitation. The priests issued stern warnings tied to specific lunar phases. During these forbidden times, a new moon or a blood moon perhaps, all sweeping was to cease. To sweep was to create movement, to stir the very fabric of the Dust Walker's world. It was like waving a flag in its face, announcing your presence, drawing its attention. The sound of a broom against a clay floor, the swirl of dust motes in the air, this was a summons. The fear was that the creature, noticing this disturbance in its silent realm, would come to investigate. And once it noticed you, there was no escape. These weren't just superstitions. They were laws of survival. People would let dust accumulate for weeks, living in homes coated in a fine, gritty layer, all for the sake of not being noticed. It was a strange pact with an unseen force: leave our dust alone and we will leave yours. The clean shape left behind was a testament to the creature's nature. It didn't consume the body. It seemed to consume the person's very existence, their imprint on the world, leaving only a clean slate where they once were. Think about the psychological impact of this. Every speck of dust in your home could be an eye watching you. The silence of the night wasn't peaceful. It was filled with the potential of a silent, walking emptiness. The disappearances were maddening. There was no closure, no body to mourn. A person was simply gone. Their absence was a fresh wound, constantly renewed by the warm bed and the waiting meal. It was as if they had been edited out of reality, with only their family and friends left to remember they ever existed at all. What was the Dustwalker? The tablets are frustratingly vague. Was it a spirit? A demon? A being from another dimension that perceived our world through the medium of dust? Some modern theorists speculate it could have been a folk memory of a specific type of predator, or perhaps a symbolic representation of death itself, sudden, silent, and absolute, erasing a person from the world. The dust outline could be a metaphor for the soul departing the body. But the Sumerians believed it was real. They believed that in the quietest, most forgotten corners of their world, something ancient and patient resided. Something that saw the accumulation of time as layers of dust and saw people as temporary disruptions in its eternal, silent landscape. It didn't hate or hunt out of malice. It simply tidied, it restored stillness. It removed the disturbance, and the disturbance was life itself. So the next time you see dust motes dancing in a sunbeam, or notice the fine layer that settles on a forgotten shelf, pause for a moment. Think of the ancient city of yore and its terrifying secret. Think of the families who wouldn't dare to sweep, who lived in fear of disturbing the silent, watchful world that exists right alongside our own. The legend of the Dustwalker is a powerful reminder that sometimes the greatest horrors are not the loud and monstrous, but the silent, the patient, and the unseen. And that sometimes it's what's missing that tells the most terrifying story of all. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the dusty archives of history. If you enjoy exploring the strange and forgotten corners of our world, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more tales from the edge of reality. What do you think the Dustwalker was? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious.